White people, did you know that research shows we have less empathy? 2014 study from the National Academy of Sciences, 2017 study from the Social, Psychological, and Personality Science, 2021 study from the Journal of Humanistic Psychology, 2023 study from Harvard that studied over 60,000 participants. All these studies demonstrated that white people feel less empathy, especially towards black people who are suffering. Even the well-meaning white people. As an academic, a lack of empathy is how we excuse harm, how medical bias happens, how police brutality gets minimized, how workplace abuse and gaslighting gets ignored. It prevents white people from changing the systems that are harming the black community. What can us white people do? One, when you feel discomfort because of the suffering of other people, stop trying to come up with some bullshit excuses and learn how to sit with the discomfort and connect to it. Two, believe people when they tell you about their suffering instead of trying to minimize it or justify it. And three, expose yourself to black storytelling. Not just trauma stories, but black stories of joy, of nuance, of complexity. Empathy deepens when everyone is humanized. There's no requirement to feel shame to grow empathy, but there is a requirement to feel something. And I think that's something us white people struggle with.
White fatigue is actually so crazy right now. Like, I'm just getting so tired of the whiteness right now. The Yakubians, the Mayo monkeys, the beige bandits. It's getting too much for me. Low key, y'all whites need to go back to your own country. All right, go back to your own country, out in Europe and Britain and shit, and have a chippy tea, and go in the fucking mountains of Europe and fucking go back to living in fucking Mount Caucasus. Caucasians, the caucasity pisses me off right now. Really, y'all just doing too much.
Hello lovelies, welcome back to today's episode. White fatigue rant is hitting homes. When you try to hear these white people, the way they are trying to say that they are fed up of their system, they've been lied to, they started to realize that they are done with this system which was always there against black people's lives. Let's get to hear them very well. Drop your thought in the comment section, then we'll come back for more commentaries.
It sucks to be a white American. I want you to think of the kind of person who would put on a White Lives Matter sticker on the back of their Ford pickup. Why do they do that? Is it all racism? Well, yeah. But I think it goes a lot deeper than that. White Americans basically have no culture. Not in the same way we see other people. And we white people, we know this inherently, and it scares us. We know we have our regional cultures. Our cities, our sports teams, and families all give us our regional culture, but being white basically means nothing, or generally at least nothing positive. White people throughout American history are almost always seen on the side of the oppressors. Not all white people, but most of us. And this sucks to learn. It's even harder to internalize. And it's why white people usually don't accept this, because it makes us feel a deep sense of guilt. I think it's why white people say nonsense like, I can't be racist, I have black friends. Sure, you probably don't see black people as objects, but you're refusing to accept the role our people have had in their oppression. That guilt we feel is our responsibility for the actions of our ancestors. It's why white people refuse to say that black people deserve reparation, because it admits our guilt. But black people deserve reparations. It just makes sense logically. You can sue someone for scratching your car, but black people can't sue the American government for the enslavement of their people. My people are arresting and deporting Mexican families from this country. Think about that. We are telling people that they are not allowed on the land we stole. Let's go a step further. White people stole a sacred land site from the people indigenous to this land and then carved 4 white people's faces on it, most of which were slave owners. I mean, Mount Rushmore is a place that we look at and we're like, oh, cool, giant faces. But to other people, it's a giant form of oppression, and admitting that and coming to terms with that sucks. We suck, dude. My people really and truly suck. Not all of us contributed to this oppression, but we are all a part of it. And this will mostly sound like virtue signaling. It will mostly sound like, look at how rough we are. But there is a reality to admitting this guilt and being honest with it. Because white people are afraid to do this. And we're afraid to admit it because my people are weak. White people are weak. We have power we have given ourselves and put down the cultures that are stronger than us because we know that we're weak. If white Americans were oppressed the same way black, native, or Mexican American people are, we would crack like glass. Our culture and identity as white people is so meaningless that we do everything in our power to keep other people down so that we don't break from having someone else on top. I think that's why you see white Americans championing white pride, not just out of ignorance or racism, but it's because they are scared. They're scared to come to terms with their guilt, scared to admit they're wrong, and terrified to acknowledge that we may have all the societal, economic, and political power, but as a people we are weak. But this isn't the way it has to be forever. I have hope that one day my people will finally take responsibility for what we have done. I hope that we'll collectively accept our role in the oppression of our non-white brothers and sisters and finally take action. And it will take the action of us white folks. It's not just non-white people that have to fight for their rights. It's us too fighting for them because our cross to bear is being born white. Being born with the skin color of the oppressors means that we have to fight to be nothing like them. We're not near that right now. America is in a tumultuous stage. Where it very much does not feel like white people are acknowledging where they went wrong. But I want to have hope, and I refuse to accept that one day justice won't prevail. Collectively, we can all shed the shadow of oppression and share this place together. And that's the message I want to end with. I want to be hopeful that one day oppression will be something taught in history class, something that we don't have to see ourselves in. That's what I hope. Anyway, I want to be optimistic in the end. Anyway, that's it. Thanks.
This country was not built on freedom. It was built on theft, genocide, slavery, and silence. The land we live on was stolen, ripped away from Native people through war, betrayal, and the violent erasure of entire cultures. Homes burned, families torn apart, and languages were forbidden, and children were buried. This land wasn't discovered, it was taken. Then this country marched south and stole half of Mexico, Texas, California, Arizona, and New Mexico. That land wasn't empty. It was alive with history, with people, with deep indigenous roots. Mexicans and Native Americans share that blood. And now this country dares to call their descendants illegal on the land that was theirs first. And while land was being stolen, millions of black people were stolen too. Enslaved, brutalized, forced to build a country that never intended to see them as human. The wealth of this nation, its railroads, its cotton, banks, White House, was soaked in the black blood and sweat. And still the system works to keep them down, to silence, to punish, to erase. And today, this country is still being built on the backs of the brown, the poor, the undocumented, farm workers who can't afford the food that they harvest, mothers crossing borders to keep their children alive, laborers doing the hardest work for the lowest pay, while being called a burden by the very people who benefit from them. I may not carry that history in my blood, but I refuse to look away. Because the truth is, America was never built by the powerful. It was built by the oppressed, by the people whose names never made it to the textbooks, by the ones this country tried to forget. But we remember. We remember because silence is a choice. And I will not choose it. Not now, not ever. Not while native land is still stolen. Not while black lives are still under attack. Not while immigrants are hunted, caged, and dehumanized. And not while injustice reigns, here or anywhere. I don't speak for anyone, but I will speak with them. Stand beside them and fight for what's right. Because I know this. We are the people, and we won't be silent.
America's identity is not freedom. If you're always going on and on about how America is the greatest country on earth because it's so free and we're always trying to spread freedom, you need to calm down. America is and has always been about two things: profit and white supremacy. When I say this, I'm not trying to be ungrateful of the privilege I have having grown up in the United States as the wealthiest country on earth. And I know that there are plenty of countries around the world that have horrible human rights offenses, genocides, poverty, famine, corruption, and so on and so forth. But America is not about freedom, and we have pretended to be about freedom for the entire lifetime of this country. When I think about the Pledge of Allegiance that I was forced to recite in elementary school, middle school, high school, every day, every morning, looking at a flag, placing my hand over my heart, and pledging my allegiance to a country that I didn't really know that much about. We have whitewashed our history and our modern politics and our impact on the world right now so much that most people who get educated in this country have no clue what dark, evil shit we get up to. The FBI archives are publicly available. You can go online and read all about the nasty shit that they did, the relentless spying they did on people that were protesting through the 1960s and 70s, and look at Iraq throughout the 20th century and then the invasion after 9/11. Look at Israel and Palestine. We're driven by two things: profit and white supremacy. Those are the bottom lines. From the very beginning, when this country was founded, for equality for every person, yet we had slaves that built our economy. For the first 90 years of this country, for the next 100, black people still did not have full rights and citizenship recognized by the government. We can't even ask to use ranked choice voting in our elections because the current politicians and the political parties are so entrenched in exchanging money for policy and perpetuating the two-party system that leaves the rest of the country, 90% of people, completely fucked by an endless cycle of capitalism. It's all about profit, and it's all about white supremacy, both at home and abroad. And I'm so sick of the way that the United States media and education completely whitewashes that. We can't even have a conversation about communism and socialism because everybody in this country is so fucking scared of those words. They have no idea what they mean. Remember McCarthyism? I mean, how can you have a country that says that it is a free country when you literally have a ringleader blacklisting other politicians just by uttering a word? And that fear of communism and socialism is absolutely still present today. We're so stuck on capitalism and this greed for profit, relentless greed for profit. It will keep us locked in this cycle of raping the earth and exploiting working class people and keeping everybody else divided through the mechanisms of white supremacy. I'm so sick and tired, and I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of watching the politicians and the leaders fight in every way they can to keep this country exactly on the path that it is. Anyway, that's my hot take for the 4th of July. Fuck this man.
People, listen up. If you're white, you automatically qualify for being racist. Do you know why? Because it's literally in our DNA. It is literally embedded deep into our soul. Oh, are you feeling some type of way about that? Are you feeling defensive right now? Are you in the comments already writing about generalizations? Because no, I don't really care who you voted for, what rallies you've been to, how many mixed children you have. None of that matters. Because you have to do the core work. You have to go to therapy. And yes, if you're feeling some type of way right now, that is the white supremacy coming up. That is it. That is it. And I wish I had someone telling me that that's what I was feeling when I was feeling it. Be curious. Be curious why you feel so defensive about me saying that all white people are racist. And that's where the healing starts. white people go to therapy.
White people. If crime statistics really mattered to us, we would be talking about white men every damn day. We as white people love to throw around statistics when it comes to the black community. We love to misconstrue data about poverty rates, crime rates, single-parent households. Here's the thing. If you really want to talk about problematic behavior in terms of statistics, we need to talk about white men. Most mass shootings in America? White men. School shootings? White men. Intimate partner violence, typically known as domestic violence? White men. Police brutality and systemic violence? White men. Online harassment and extremism? White men. Domestic terrorism? White men. Serial killers? White men. The demographic making up the vast majority of CEOs, judges, senators, and police chiefs who refuse to hold white men responsible? White men. And yet us white men are rarely talked about as being a problem. Few white people are asking, what's wrong with white men? What's wrong with the culture? Few white men are demanding that we be fixed. And why? Because we as white men humanize and individualize white violent offenders. And it's time to flip the script. To shame and blame, because I know white males are incredibly fragile when it comes to that, but instead to name what's really going on and who continues to be protected and not held accountable because of selective storytelling. I hope this helps.
This time around, when you try to hear how some white people are fed up of each and everything, they are even showing their white fatigue that is taking another level. These people, when you try to hear them, they feel hurt because the system lied to them. They scam them. Imagine you grew up telling you need to dislike this small minority. They are not good people. You need to know that you have white supremacy. We are offering white privilege. We are here to protect you. The system is just for you. You need to feel that superiority. You are great among others. But this time around, most of them are trying to say that now we are starting to realize ourselves that we've been lied to. How come this time around we are seeing black people keep surviving on this land after all these sort of things they have been doing to them, and yet they promise us that we have white privilege, but we have never seen anything like that help us. Maybe it has helped white people in one way or the other, but it doesn't mean this something will keep sitting on and say that we are more protected. When you try to hear them, their behavior, the way they are fed up, the way they are trying to explain deep more about their communities, the way they live each other each and every time, the way they react anytime they see black people, even if you are not a racist, you could fed up of your communities. When you try to see what is these palm-colored people has been doing, it's really something annoying, even tiring. No wonder we are keep seeing these few white people trying to come out to say that, let's tell you about us. We have bad behavior. We are stubborn. This is not the things we keep in our heart. We wish these people could stop all these sort of things they've been doing to black people. How come you came in Europe, you came down on this land of America, you stole each and everything because they were original people of this land. You scattered each and everything. You took away black people's identity, their religion, even their motherland. You deleted each and everything connect to them. You erased their history. Now, this time around, you are keeping oppressing these people, and as we sit here scrapping for you that everything is going well. No wonder we kept saying each and everything which was hidden is starting to come out bit by bit. This is the expose era. People has been waiting. When you started to see what has been happening in those back days and you compare in this 2025, a lot are happening. We are keep seeing a lot coming out in a way we never expected. No wonder we kept saying each and everything which has starting, it will also have ending. Black people has been suffering for decades to decades, from generation to generation, but this time around, we are at least happy to see that those white people who've been thinking that they have that system which is for them, they have this white supremacy. When we see some of them coming out to support black people, to tell us a lot about them, to reveal a lot of secret, this is something really good to hear. And this is something black people has been saying. You don't want to hear our voice. We've been screaming for so long. We've been claiming our rights. You denied us each and everything, but there will be a time you will start to realize yourself that what you are doing is not really fair to us. Now see, white people, they are trying to say, we are done of our community. We are done of this system. And this time around, some white people are starting to run black people's history. No wonder we are seeing some of them coming out to say that, let me tell you what I know about each and everything happened. Let me give you experience how I grew up in a racist family, what we've been doing to black people, how we've been thinking about them. They are exposing each and everything because they are fed up. They are fed up completely. You remember, some of them, they came out to bring this system back in the office. Now, most of them are crying. They are regretting. Nothing has helped them after bringing these people back in the office. Instead, they are losing a lot of opportunities. They are starting to be laid off. They are being homeless. They are taking away their food stamps they've been relying on. Now, they feel that it's a high time they started to come out and talk each and everything they knew about all these things which has been hidden in this system, which proves what black people has been always saying. When we see this time around how racist is so costly on this land, this is something some people would say, no, me, I never see something like this. These are propaganda. People are exaggerating. But see, some people are testify each and everything. They are trying to tell us the black people need to be very careful. We are behind you. We are not going to keep letting these things keep operating in your ways. This is the time they need to stop each and everything, because if they don't, we are going to keep talking about it. And yet black people has been always saying, don't try to silence our voices. You've been trying it for so long, but there will be a time it will be no longer able to stop us to do whatever we want to speak about our issues. Black people has been there saying, please, please, we've been oppressed from generation to generation, decades to decades. You need to consider our history. You need to hear us. They've been claiming reparations. No one was there to hear their voice. Now, when we see this white fatigue this time around, people saying we no longer have empathy. Our DNA shows that we don't have empathy towards black people. We never feel friendly to welcome black people in our mind, because that's how we are. See, they are exposing each and everything. Though this is something black people has been known for so long. Most of black people, this is not something new, but as young generation, they need to hear this. They need to confirm what they've been hearing from their grandfather saying about this system of America. Now see what is really happening. See the way the system is operating. See each and everything, how it's moving. Have you ever seen black people's life at least being nice, being equally as other people are enjoying? Have you ever seen something like this? Yes, we know there is a white privilege. There is each and everything we know about it. But have you ever seen black privilege? These people came out to say that we are bringing integration, we are stopping each and everything, but we have never seen something like that being putting in place on black people's side. Guys, let me know what you think today's episode. Drop your thought in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you in my next episode. Bye.